Well, I'm just an old guy. I like to work with my hands and work with wood, and need the need for prayer. So this is what it's all about. All right. This is what I make. It's let me that rosary there. You're all familiar with a regular rosary. Well, this is a rosary too, except it's only one decade. It's made of wood, one piece of wood, different kinds of wood, and cherry and mahogany and walnut, ginkgo. It's to be worn on your finger and used like that to say the rosary. It's not a walking. It is a walking around rosary. That's its name. WAR, walking around rosary. You could use it anywhere. You wouldn't hold a rosary in your hand when you're cutting the grass, but this you could. When you walk over from the car to the supermarket, you could say a couple of prayers. You could say a couple of prayers when you're buttoning the buttons on your shirt. It's just the idea of getting a goad, a tool to remind you to say a prayer. For what? For whatever you want. You're talking to God, talk to Him. Ask Him for peace. Ask Him for brains. Ask Him for a new job. Ask Him for a relationship. Thank Him. At our parish church, I have a rack about this size, 2x4, piece of wood with 7
dowels
in it. Not these, but dowels, because these come in 7 sizes. 7 sizes because this tool and 6 more like it come in with a package of different sizes, 1/2 an inch up to 7/8 of an inch to make the hole. It's called a spade drill. I don't charge anything for them, so they're very popular. People just pick them up because they're free. I have nothing else to do. I like to work with wood. I can get up in the morning and I have a job to do. It's wonderful. Nobody's out on my back. I don't have any boss. I don't get any paid. And that's a problem, but it's not a big problem. If anybody wants to join this little effort, you would have to put out $120-150 for a vacuum. I'll show you in a minute how it works. For a barber's apron, for a lamp. I have 2 of these because one's fading out. Its power. Well, it will. I don't want to get stuck without one, so I have 2 of them with different bits on them. This is a marvelous tool. Each one of those little things is a knife. I'll show you how it works in a minute. And this is like it's a stone. It's stone. What kind? I wish I knew. It's a buffer. I use it for. Well, you'll see that again. Also, all right. I get my wood from the lumber yard, from the firewood, from a catalog. For people who have a tree cut down, and they offer me wood. I have oak, and mahogany, ginkgo, walnut, ash, a whole list of them. I just like the variety. Because I like to work with wood, and they're all different. They're all pleasant. Some more than others, different qualities. All right. At any rate, I get a log from somewhere. And I have in the garage, I have a table saw. And here's a, maybe you can tell that's from one log. All right. What kind of log is it? Cherry, I think. This is from Elaine's cherry tree. All right. So with that, what do I do there is Hmm. Ah, with one of these little guys, a little master, all right, I draw on here, and I identify it as C for cherry. This is going to be a size 12 when I use the 12, what is it, 5/8 inch spade drill. All right. So, yes. And, oh, this is a, this is a piece of dogwood that this goes from size 10, size 11, 12, 13, 14, and 14. All right. So what I will do then is cut these apart once they're labeled. D for dogwood, size 11. It was, I don't know why I put this on here, but it's August the 21st, 2023, just a couple months ago. So I'll separate them with a tool called a bandsaw. Now, this phase of the making of this little guy, I have it in the garage. Very dusty in there. Not as there's dusty here. I got plenty of dust. But at any rate, so with yeah. So I'll bring in one of these things here. It looks like oh, here. I guess it gets cold. I squirrel these away. This is what they look like when they come in from the garage, just out in from the bandsaw, and that's what you would work with. That's what I call a blank. And here's a couple more down here. I'll use them in a minute, but these are just set aside. So when it snows or I don't know when I can't get out, I'll have these to fall back on. So I have two ways of making. Well, take a look. Take a look at at a finished rosary. Do I have one here? God mercy on me, anyways. Here, this is almost finished. This is almost finished, but I call this part here. I call that a saddle, as if you were going to sit on there. If you were a cowboy, you're going to sit on there. I attack that part first to create that roundness. I don't want it. The whole business of using these tools is to bevel every edge, to get rid of the 90-degree angles. This 90-degree angle, this up in here. Get rid of that. All right. No, not here. Here, you can see perhaps where there's one of my tools has gotten so it's a 45-degree angle. We'll take care of that. I want to get rid of all angles. Everything's going to be rounded. Okay, that's the whole deal. Rounding every edge of this thing. Okay. Now, to do that, I use these files or in conjunction with this grinder with that razors on the edge. I'll show you how I use the file. All right. The idea is to get rid of the kerf. A kerf is a kerf is made when you cut a piece of wood with a saw. Maybe you had a pencil line there on a piece of wood. There's a line. Then you get your saw and you cut a saw there. You leave a line. Oh, it's not a line. It's a kerf. I want to get rid of all kerfs like this. Wait a minute. Let's get busy here. All right. Now, I would normally turn this on. See, I've captured some dust. This is very soft. This is yellow pine. I'll use this for an example, just to speed things up. that much dust. All right, well, you have an idea. You just go around to all 9, 10, 11 valleys. All right. So that's good. But wait, that still leaves a 90-degree angle in here. I want to get rid of that too. So put it on an angle. Come on. 2, 3. Go all the way around. So you go around and get rid of the kerf. You hollow that saddle out. Yeah, that's a good one. You hollow that saddle out, and then you work on the sides until you got something like a bead. Some are taller than others. Like this, that's not going to be very flat. I'm sorry. The beads are not going to be very obvious. And with this thing, by the way, that's just it's either dirt or sunburn. Believe it or not, woods do that. Okay, you're just going to go all the way around that until you come up with something like this. This is a piece of ash, a size 14. I cut it out in July, if that makes any difference to anybody. All right, so okay, I can use that.
Rat-tailed.
Rat-tailed file, but it's not a file so much as it is a rasp. A rasp. All right, I use this. This is the same little guy. Using this now from the other angle. Get that right in there. Get that. I forgot what it's called. Kerf. All right. And then you go down the side. Get that side. Get this side. Yes, it's pretty rough at this stage, but it's shaping. It's shaping up. All right, and you can just continue going around like that. There's another spot in here, and that's the finger hole. You want to clean that out, and then get that 90-degree angle. Get rid of it. Bevel it. That's what a bevel is. I'm beveling this. All right. Now the other side, I won't do it here. Just brevity. That's all I'm trying to do here. And finally, this guy here is. I've gotten the kerf. I've gotten the saddle, both sides. I've gotten the inside. So it's almost ready, except for it needs the buffing. Okay. You're really finishing the job. This is almost the last step. And you get rid of all trace of the marks made by the metal grinder. The grinder, this is a buffer. All right. By marks, I mean, this mark in here, when I made the side, maybe you can't see it too well, but it's like water down on the beach. Water comes up and it leaves a row of bubbles. Well, there's something like that here. Maybe you can't see it very well, but I want to get rid of it. So it's going to be nice and round. Get that, don't let that poke you, these corners here. I have a file that I use, this flat file, to get rid of the tip there. But just hit it once or twice and that's enough. But so I would go all the way around here. Let me do that. It's not it's quickly done. Just be patient with me here. Okay, this That's an ink that marks the kind of what size it is, what kind of wood it is. It was an M for mahogany. All right, I'm getting this corner in here. I'm not finishing this the way I would like. I will after this demonstration. But after you go do all the beads and the finger hole, there's only two more things you have to do. One is to use a tool called a mandrel. This is the mandrel, different sizes. They use it, something like it, to mark the sizes of rings. Now, this is a ring, so but I want to get the inside of that, so it's really like glass when you finger it.
Is sandpaper dead?
Huh? Oh! This is number 150. 150. Grit. Emery cloth. It's sandpaper, but it's not paper. It's cloth, like canvas. That's going to get the inside. Keep going until it beeps. It's not different kind of wood. Some wood where they beep when you. Anyway, there you are. That's one more step. Another piece of 150 grit sandpaper to get that edge. Both sides. I'm going to finish this. Okay. The rascal's done. I would mark it. This is just a set of 8 wars. This one here hasn't been touched. I use that for show, but this is a size 14, made out of V for walnut. Don't ask me why it's a V for walnut. A K for oak, an L. Funny look at L for crabapple, and the size 11. I have 2 size 11s because that's the most common size. But these others go. Everybody's different.
What numbers do you have?
Huh?
What total numbers do you have? What's the lowest and the smallest? What's the highest and the smallest number?
8/16. 8/16 spade drill. It's really half an inch. 8/16 is half an inch. So it's 8. Is that what you're asking? 8/16,
yeah.
9/16.
So you go from an 8 to a 14.
Yes, in 60, the numerator of the fraction. All right, the bottom is always 16, so it's 8/16, 9/16, 10/16. Here's 11/16. That's mahogany. 10/16. That's really 5/8. But 5/8 is 10/16.
So it's not ring sizes.
It's not finger ring sizes.
Correct.
It's spade drill
sizes. Yeah.
Okay, and that's the way they come. You buy them. You don't buy one spade drill. You buy 7 of them. That's the way it is. It comes in a little package.
Okay. So 7/8 would be a 14.
Exactly. If you're stuck for a prayer to say to God, and you're out of thoughts, I keep this little card on display in our parish. It goes along. It sits right beside the display of wars of the 7 sizes. Looks like a First World War battleship with all the 7 stacks sticking up. It just says, for goodness sake, I'll read the bottom of it. For the sake of his sorrowful passion, have mercy on us and on the whole world. You would say that 10 times with the beads, the little beads. There's 1, there's 2, there's 1, there's 2. You say it 10 times because there's 10 beads. Okay, that's it. All right, so now we're done, except for figuring out what to do with them. Well, that's up to you and me. But I'll have a follow up on this presentation, what we just recorded, that shows that the tools and the prices and the sources of wood, where to buy rasps and what kind of what catalog, that kind of help. But that'll come later.
And how do you display them? And where do you leave them?
Yeah, that exactly. That's going to. If you want to do this, okay, and you finish one, and you send it to me, okay, or you can put it in your pocket. And when you go to the supermarket, you pull it out of your pocket, and it falls on the ground. And somebody says, "Oh, what's that?" And you say, "It's a rosary." It's not a rosary. Sure it is. Try it, and you might evangelize somebody to their dismay. Maybe people like them. You know, I've never had anybody turn me down. Walmart, and Home Depot, where else? Any store I go into. Dex Hardware. Many, but that's for another time, maybe, if you're curious. That's all I have. So, thank you for your interest.